Hello, this is Eric from Trinity Property. We thought we would give you an update on the latest information we've had through from the government on the Renters' Rights Act. So I wanted to give you an overview of the latest implementation timetable that we've received. As you probably know, the Act was given royal assent on the 27th of October. That's now passed. The next stage is that the Act will be rolled out, and it starts on the 27th of December this year. So that's the first date that we've been given where things will begin to change. There are new investigatory powers for the local councils, and that's for property inspections, document demands and access to third-party data. So that will potentially come in December. There will potentially be some more strict enforcement, and compliance will need to be checked and will be correct. So you'll need to be aware of that. The next date is January 26th, that's January next year, when the wording of tenancy agreements is expected to be released. So we're then going to be able to look at those tenancy agreements to make sure they're ready for the Act becoming ready for the next stage on the 1st of May, which is going to be the main date for when things change. In March 26th, the government is going to be issuing a leaflet for all existing tenancies, and that's going to be released to us as agents so that we can pass those on. And our legal team are working on our tenancy agreements to make sure they're compliant, ready for that 1st of May date. Just prior to that, in April, there'll be more communication from the government for tenants. So tenants will be given more information about their new rights, and that will come out so that we can pass it on to them so that they're aware of the changes that are coming too. And as I say, the May date, the 1st of May at the moment, is the main date that we're working towards. At that point, it will be the end of all fixed term tenancies. So all those tenancies that are running, say, for a 6 or a 12-month or a 24-month period will become a monthly periodic tenancy. All assured short-hold tenancies, or ASTs in the trade, will convert to assured periodic tenancies as of that date. That will also be the end of Section 21, which is the no-fault eviction, and new grounds for possession will become the only way to end a tenancy, and there are a number of grounds that we can use to do that. There will be changes going live on that date as well for rent increase rules, advance rent, rent letting to pets, and bidding on rents as well, and finally discrimination will be brought into the spotlight too. So that's really quite a critical date to be aware of, and obviously as agents we're working towards getting everything ready for that date for you, our manager landlords. It's worth pointing out at this point that any Section 21 or Section 8 notices that have served before the 1st of May will remain valid until their normal expiry, or the 1st of August 2026, whichever comes first, so just bear that in mind. No new notices can be served after the 1st of May. That's Section 21 or Section 8. Obviously we're going to be training our staff to make sure that they're aware of that, and landlords need to be aware of that too. Slightly longer ahead, or further ahead, on the 1st of June next year, that's the mandatory date by which tenants must have received the new government information sheet. We're told that that doesn't mean that you have to release a new tenancy agreement, but you will have to offer the tenants or give out to the tenants this new government information sheet, which again our legal team are putting together as we speak. On the 1st of August 2026, that's a date for notice service. As I mentioned earlier, all possession claims for the previous Section 8 and 21 notices must be issued by that date. So that's quite a critical date for those. Then further ahead, throughout 2027, so 2 years' time, the government is going to implement the private rented sector, or the PRS database. That's going to be for landlords to register on. That's going to be mandatory for them, and there will be some fairly sizable fines if you don't register. And in fact, as agents, we're not going to be able to deal with your property unless you're registered on that database. So it's very important that you take notice of that. There will unfortunately be a fee to pay, as you might expect. That database will contain landlords' contact information, information about the size and layout of the property, and the required safety certificates. So it's going to be a very important database for us to access, and obviously for landlords to make sure their data is on. In 2028, so the year after that again, there's going to be the implementation of what's called the Private Rented Sector Landlord Ombudsman. And that's essentially a means by which tenants can complain about landlords and there's a strict process to handle those complaints. We're obviously registered with the Property Redress Scheme, which is our ombudsman, and landlords will have to do that in 2028. And then finally, at this stage at least, 2030 is the date when the Decent Homes Standard will come in for the private rented sector. AWAB's law, which is already in existence for social tenants, will come in for all properties by that point. And that's going to make sure that properties are to the right standard, they're safe to live in. Obviously, landlords and agents will need to be aware of that and to prepare for enhanced inspections, repairs and compliance standards. So that's a bit of a brief overview, and I appreciate that's a bit of a whistle-stop tour, but hopefully that's helpful to give you some dates to work to. And as things come out from the government, we'll update you further and we'll keep that information coming for you. I hope that's been helpful.